What would 12-year-old you think of how you are now? She wouldn't waste her time thinking about old people. Anyone over 30 was not interesting. I was an idiot at 12, so he'd think I was cool. Now me is an idiot too, but I only think I'm kinda cool. Jealous of the allowance my boss gives me, little does he know, it's actually pitiful. Disappointed at best. Probably upset that I'm not a vet and don't own a scarlet macaw. It's okay, little me, I found a much better aspiration and I have a cool ferret instead. Wow, your life is boring. She'll get depression earlier. He would honestly think I'm like the coolest guy ever and be pumped about the future, but that's just because he had really bad taste. Hey, you have Star Wars. It's right here on the shelf. Hey, why is it on the shelf? Why aren't you watching Star Wars? You have Star Wars. Can we watch Star Wars now? She'd be appalled at who I married. My husband and I went to grade school together. We did not get along at all. Probably disappointed I didn't go to her school of choice or finish college. I'm not a famous artist, I don't work for Marvel Comics, and I don't have any kids. You're going to drink that much? At 11 am. I'm more fit now, so he'd probably be like, damn bro, nice biceps. Sure, I become successful, but my hairline is going to recede and start becoming bald. Starts violently sobbing. He would be disappointed because I'm not a professional football player or a rap artist. That little delusional brat. Disappointed because my life is nothing like she wanted. 16-year-old me would be proud of me dealing with my issues though, and I think that matters more. Why are you still a virgin? Even I lost my virginity. Probably nothing. That would require me taking my mind off of my hot math teacher Miss Harper, and that rarely happened with 12-year-old me. You turned out exactly how I expected, but somehow, I'm still disappointed. I'd be very impressed. I was overweight, depressed, basically friendless, and didn't know at the time, but being an adult now, it is very clear, some kind of attention disorder. Had horrible grades because I just didn't care, parents didn't, so why should I? Wasn't into sports at the time either. I'm now in a successful position in a very successful company, with a great social life and an awesome little family. I just bought a house I'd never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be able to afford. I'm still about 20 pounds overweight, but my husband likes my curvy butt and chest, so I call that a win, I suppose. Don't get me wrong, there have been plenty of ups and downs, but overall, I'm doing alright for myself, which is something I'd never thought would be the case at 12. 12-year-old me had no friends, was bullied, and hated everything in his life. He had fears of getting fat, dying alone, and spending his days hidden from the world. He would cry at how well we'd wound up. Married, working as an engineer, with a home, a baby on the way, shitloads of close friends whom I love and would do anything for, and the kids who used to bully me wound up exactly where they belonged. 12 me, you're fat. Me, you're. The me of today is what the 12-year-old version fantasized about becoming, a performing musician and instructor/professor. Can only speculate, but I think the 12-year-old me would be surprised and pleased that it actually happened after years of study and hard work. Terribly disappointed and saddened. Even if things aren't bad necessarily, it will be disappointing for a good number of people BC of the killing of most childhood dreams. He'd be stoked that I still play D&D and probably faint in joy at the sight of my RPG bookshelf. He'd probably think he was super cool, to be honest. 12-year-old me wanted to play in bands and be a pro wrestler, and I played in bands through my teens/early 20s, then debuted as a pro wrestler at 30 years old. Wow, that's really made my day realizing that. Thanks, Op. Wow, so I'm gay. My wife's boobs are huge, he'd be happy. 50-50, I suppose. Surprised I'm alive and sane, but sad I'm not a rich badass. Fuck, I'm gay. Oh, all the softball makes sense now. Shocked that I was actually diagnosed with a mental illness. Sad because mom has passed. Happy that I have my own PC. Freaked because I hated long hair, which is what I have now. She'd be proud. She stood up to her abusive mother, and got the help she's always needed. Edit. Holy shit, my first silver. Thank you, kind stranger. Edit 2. Holy shit, my first gold. Thank you, kind stranger. My 12-year-old self would be proud. A little confused/surprised with where I ended up. It's different from what my 12-year-old self saw, but I have a heckin' good life, so I think they'd be proud of all the work I've done and who I've become. Honestly, he'd think I'm awesome. I came out much more attractive than I ever thought, for starters. I get to make pictures for a living, and the minor success I've had with my band and writing music, all while being in a long-term relationship. Only downside is still living with my parents, a shitload of student loan debt, sometimes crippling anxiety, and a minor drinking problem. I hope she'd be proud. I've gone a lot I never thought I ever could. He would think I was a loser because I put down the skateboard and started actually trying to be a part of society. Shit, he would call me a fucking loser. He'd ask why I am still alive. He would probably say something along the lines of, God, I hope I'm not like that guy when I grow up. He would think that getting divorced meant that I had failed as a person, and he would be very wrong. She'd think I'm hot. I expected nothing and still I'm disappointed. Ugh. Gross, I'm fat in the future and almost bald, just kill me already. I think 12-year-old me would be proud of the person I've become, but horrified at my major. For an explanation, I am a chemical engineering major. I think he'd be happy that I'm finally out as transgender to all my friends and family. Damn, you smoke a lot of weed. My 12-year-old self would think I'm badass. I get to do super cool science, my boobs finally came in, I can, and do, dye my hair a variety of colors, and guys actually like me now. It's great, and whenever I'm stressed I just remind myself that my teenage self would be thrilled to know how far I've come. He would be very disappointed in the fact I have done drugs. He would also be incredulous that someone can do drugs and still be successful, empathetic, and live a normal life. I used to think weed was the devil, lol. Asterisk ha, gay. 12-year-old would call 19-year-old a pedophile. Too bad his dad's going to die in a month, and puberty is going to hit him like a freight train in a week. Ashamed. Disappointed. Disappointed that I'm not sticking it to the man. Happy that by not sticking it to the man I'm able to make good money, leave my parents' house, have a great gaming PC and I'm good with girls now. The receding hairline would make him very worried though. Sad, I'm in a wheelchair. Would have ended his life to not go trough any more suffering. I think she'd be surprised that I didn't kill myself at age 15. He would be shocked that I'm still in the same fucking school. I teach at my old middle school. You managed to change your sexuality and gender, but growing a foot was too much for you. Come on. It didn't grow at all. He would hate me, but that's okay because I also hate me, so we can be self-loathing buddies. Well, considering that I turned 13 4 days ago, he wouldn't think a whole lot.